I've heard you say that Illusions was one of your favorite books, and it's pretty much been like a Bible to me ever since I read it 2 years ago.
It is Esther's favorite, yes.
All right. I was just kind of curious, actually. Don Shimoda is like, the main character, the sort of the prophet type in the book, who has this kind of Christ consciousness, enlightened state of mind. And I've been working with a lot of Twyman stuff and a lot of Richard Bach's stuff, and I seem to have gone through every single religion and pathway that I've ever found that has any kind of liberation or enlightenment or the quintessence, and I've studied Tai Chi Chuan and meditation and yoga, and I've pretty much been doing these kinds of practices since I was 6 years old, and I've kind of come to the conclusion that it's, to put it frankly, kind of sort of all bullshit for me. It's like...
we agree.
It's like I don't really need to do any of that. It's like I am always in a state of meditation. I'm just not consciously aware that I'm always in that state of meditation. And I was hoping you could help me either by recommending some kind of exercise or, I know law of attraction and trying to do that, but I'm kind of confused on where I should really put my focus if what I'm trying to attain is that same kind of liberation, that same kind of enlightenment.
The most significant thing that we want to say to you is that as you study a large body of philosophies or approaches, you discover that within all of them are things that in this moment will resonate with you, and within all of them are things that within this moment will not resonate with you, because you are a changing being who always has access to the broader perspective that is you. Almost all religions or philosophies have at the heart of them someone with a very powerful point of attraction, and the religion or the philosophy came in response to the questions that they were asking. But it gets a little screwy when somebody who's not asking that question then takes the body of work that someone else has attracted and tries to then apply it to the specifics of what they are living, especially when it is in another time, in another place, when other factors are involved. It's sort of like pounding the square peg into the round hole. It is not a very pleasant experience. So we would not encourage you to beat the drum too hard that these other things are inappropriate, but instead we would say there are aspects of all things that may enhance my experience, and there are aspects of all things that may detract from my experience, and my work as the liberated creator of my experience is to synthesize from among the data that I have to collect that which is perfect for me now. And it is our expectation that if you were able to have interacted with those that were at the heart of any of those movements, you would have found that to have been their philosophy too. And that where it went wrong was long after their point of attraction was a strong summoning point, and others were then trying to motivate others by taking some action from the outside rather than from the inside. So we think your instincts are right on. We think that you are wise enough to know that you have guidance that comes forth from within you. And we think that the rebellion that we're hearing you verbalize here is more about not wanting somebody else to try to guide you, because you are understanding that there's guidance within you that will guide you. And we know that you are sensitive enough to your awareness of the way you feel that you will be able to guide yourself magnificently. Esther loved the book Illusions because she liked the sensation of there being someone who seemed to have no vested interest in the outcome, but was willing to give his opinion. In other words, it was the first real taste of someone that she felt really knew a broader picture, who was not deliberately trying to manipulate the others into doing something in order to learn some lesson. She liked the freedom that she felt in all of that. And it was her first real taste of what the law of attraction is really about, as she came to understand that everyone has access to that kind of knowledge. Esther does not like the idea that she is the facilitator that gives masses the opportunity to come to her feet and listen to wisdom flow. Instead, she likes the idea that she can, if they want, help them through the power of her example to understand that they have their own Shimoda. They have their own connection to Source. They do not need her. They do not need Abraham. Everyone is hardwired right to the Source. And so that is what we would encourage you to focus upon. Don't condemn the paths that others have taken. Instead, acknowledge that you are on your unique path, as were they.
I have been enjoying a lot of terrific magic in my life, and I'm ready to go to the next level. Specifically, I'd like to understand how to more quickly experience life through other beings' perspectives. For example, I would love to be able to see the bird's eye view from the bird that's flying over my fields. I'd love to be able to experience my dog's joy from my dog's perspective. And I have a tremendous connection with and through animals. And I'd like to take my manifestations that I get in the physical joy of all this to that next level.
Well, there is a way that you can achieve that more easily, and that is by donning the perspective of your inner being. And then as your inner being views life through your physical apparatus, you do have that broader view. Have you had the experience of an out-of-body experience?
Yes.
And how would you compare that to what you are asking for here?
Probably in my mind it's the same. My resistance comes, I think, when I'm expecting to go into another body to have that experience.
The reason that we ask you to make the comparison is because we can feel that what you're reaching for is very much the same. And when you say, I have achieved that, then you are in a more compliant vibrational state where you could allow yourself the other experience too. We think the reason that you're having some difficulty with it is because there has been for quite some time some negative human explanation about how energy flows into man or how it flows into beast. In other words, sometimes someone will talk about a very close connection to one of their canine or feline friends, and we will say, well, you share some of the same energy. And that is a little unsettling to people who have been climbing the karmic ladder for a while and who had hoped that they had reached a higher place on it. But when you come to realize that there is this non-physical energy that flows through many perspectives, and that you can have the ability, you can have the sight of any perspective that you choose, and you realize that your path to it is through connection to your own inner being, then is an easier bridge for you to make. Instead of saying at first, I want to hear what my dog is hearing. We don't usually hear you say, I want to smell what my dog is smelling. Rather than saying, I want to hear what my dog is hearing, or I want to see the bird's eye view, instead watch the bird and say to yourself, I want to feel that sort of freedom in flight. I want to feel that sort of expansive feeling. And while you are watching the bird, and while you are connected to Source, you will have the sensation of that. And much of that experience you will have immediately in dream state or in out-of-body state. But to teleport yourself from the ground into the body of the bird would take some understanding that we are really all one, and it is that part of you that you are wanting to see from here and now. From what you now know, what are you now looking for?
I am looking to, I guess, more to have the experience of the bird.
I'd like to perceive from the bird's point of view. I would like the best of what everyone sees. Esther laughed very hard at her father's funeral. In fact, she was laughing so hard she had to go away so that she would not be misunderstood. Because at the mortuary there was a very large fly that would not go away. And about halfway through the day, Esther remembered her father saying that he would like to be a fly on the wall at his own funeral. And Esther did not realize it until the second day when his casket had been moved to the church house. And she realized the same big fly was there. She cornered the fly and said, what did you do, ride over with him? She is certain that the fly was closed in the casket and moved to the church with him because it was such a particularly big and shiny and blue iridescent fly. And she resisted swatting it. And then she remembered us saying that flies have very good eyes. If you're wanting to see something up close, pick a fly. We're not kidding.
Very good.
My question is one really of my own personal inspiration. I love this world, and I'm in love with Mother Earth. And all of the people and the souls that surround me, I know are radiant and beautiful, and yet the physical experience can be quite different. And I would like to know how to see more of the divine in people. as I appreciate this world.
Well, the easiest way is to look for it in those who it is easy to find, so that you really get that activated within you. And sometimes it's easier for you to find it in you, but usually it's easier for you to find it in another. Jerry and Esther met a little girl on the elevator with her family last evening as they were getting into the hotel. And Jerry said, well, she's a keeper. And Esther teased, you distract her father and I'll get her, because she really was a wonderful feeling little being to be around. They wished that the elevator would get stuck on every floor just so that they could spend a little bit more time with her. So what we're saying is, pick out those that it's easy to feel that way about and amplify it and activate that rhythm of that vibration within you. And as you do that, then it's easier for you to find in another and in another and in another, until eventually you will not be able to find anything other than that anywhere you look. But usually somewhere along there, you have to get it activated about you. In other words, unless you are really finding it in yourself so that it's really a dominantly active part of you, then it's harder to see in other places. Most people are blaming the other for the way they are making them feel. You make me feel bad by being the way you are. True freedom comes by realizing that you can activate in yourself only that which you want. And then the universe can't show anything other than that to you. So then it turns out that there are 5 billion people on the planet, and you really are living in 5 billion different worlds. Even though you're sharing one seemingly time-space reality, you are really having very different experiences, one from another. As you are deliberately reaching for the thought that feels good as you focus upon someone else, and then you feel the alignment with that source energy, then you literally are becoming that. It's not stepping out of yourself and viewing yourself from the eyes of God or from the eyes of Source, although that is a beautiful sight. It is being the vibration that sees with those eyes. That is really what you're reaching for. You're wanting to adore. You do. You want to adore. And that is why it is so irritating when someone is not adorable. You love it so much when someone be's adorable, because they just suck it right out of you and it feels so good. And then you say, oh, bless you, adorable one. And then you say to the not adorable ones, damn you for not being adorable. Please go change so I can adore. And what we want you to understand is that you can, under any and all conditions, adore if you will invoke your ability to selectively sift that which you focus upon. And you do it a little bit at a time, don't you? In other words, it's something that you were born with that sometimes you lose by way of the way you are interacting with others, but it is really who you are. Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Now what?
Are all non-physical entities as friendly and likable as you, or are there ones that you prefer not to associate with?
Everyone that is non-physically focused is pure positive energy, and we're all delightful.
Thank you.
That was easy. However, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. We're as delightful as you allow us to be by your vibrational alignment with that which we are.
Yes. So there might be some that we don't perceive to be as friendly and likable as you, although in your world they are.
There is much that is not understood. In other words, you sort of have to get to know us.